So a lot of people think there's a pentagram at Washington, D.C. I assure you that's not the case. First, we have to talk about the prime meridian, which is the line that goes from north to south and cuts through the equator. It's the zero latitude between east and west. The zero latitude and zero longitude is called the no point, which used to be centered at Lake Victoria. Now it's at a place called No Island. This is our current prime meridian, lined up with the United Kingdom. The UK prime meridian was established at the Royal Observatory in Greenwich in the 1600s. It was used by Britain for 200 years and was officially adopted as the International Prime Meridian in 1884 at the International Meridian Conference in Washington, D.C. You see, some random guy said that the Egyptians aligned the Great Pyramid's coordinates to match the speed of light, and everyone believed him. But 00 in the middle of the ocean? You'd think there'd be a monument there. Apparently the most important coordinate on Earth needed no marker. It's just a floating buoy. There's not even an island there. So the original prime meridian of Egypt was marked by the Nile River and the Great Pyramid of Giza. The words Nol, Nil, and Nullus all come from the word Nile, which means zero. There's something called a rose line, which is the Paris meridian, a historical meridian through Paris that rivaled the Greenwich meridian as the world's prime meridian, now marked by bronze medallions in the city. Like the Egyptian meridian, this meridian was also marked by a pyramid, the Glass Pyramid, at the Louvre Museum, right next to the Paris Observatory. The ground plan for Washington, D.C. was designed by Pierre Charles L'Enfant, and he was commissioned by President George Washington in 1791. The word capital comes from caput, which means head. The reason we have a capital today is because Rome has something called Mons Capitolinus, which is the capital hill of Rome, the smallest but most central of Rome's historic 7 hills of Rome. Rome is Rama, aka the ram, the head of the world. Aries is the first sign, the head of the zodiacs. The 7 hills of Rome represent the Pleiades, aka the 7 sisters between Aries and Taurus. The Pleiades represents the pineal gland. It's a cluster of stars that look like one big bright star. That's why on the celestial sphere, on the Masonic pillars, you will always see 7 stars, or even off to the distance. In fact, the Masonic 357 stairway represents the exact journey from the 3 stars of Orion to the 5 stars of Taurus to the 7 stars of the Pleiades. This is ascension from the lower brain to the higher brain, from the cerebellum to the cerebrum, then finally to the pineal gland. Well, the P at the center of that Christogram actually stands for Pleiades and pineal. So back to Washington, D.C. It's not just the side profile of the human brain, it is also the midsection. When you square the circle, you can draw a triangle connecting the square to the circle. This is not an exaggeration. The base of the triangle is 11 units, which is the side of the square. 11 times 4 gives the square the perimeter of 44. The height of the triangle is 7 units, which is the radius of the circle. The circumference of any circle is 2 radius times pi. So 2 times 7 is 14 times pi gives us the circumference of 44. So with the square having the side length of 11 and the circle having the radius of 7, the square and the circle are reconciled. This triangle has the height of 7 units with the base of 11 units. This triangle, when scaled up properly, matches the exact dimensions of the face of the Great Pyramid. September 11 is actually 7/11. September is the 9th month, but we all know sept means 7. If you look at the Statue of Liberty, above is a 7-pointed crown, and below, the Statue of Liberty is standing on an 11-pointed star. At first glance, it looks like the White House is marking the tip of the upside-down star. But this star is automatically made when constructing the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. So it's not a star, it's the Kabbalistic Tree of Life inside the Pyramid of Giza. Caput means head. That's why we say decapitated. It means no head. Capitoline Hill of Rome is called Capitoline because there was a skull on the hill, so it became known as the Hill of the Skull, Capitoline Hill. The designer of the map of DC left a coat on his tombstone. The mall itself being another Kabbalistic tree. The Capitol building represents the pineal gland itself, because the Capitol represents the seat of the government, just like the pineal represents the seat of the soul. My name is Julio Castro, and I'm a dedicated truth seeker. We have been lied to our entire lives. If you want to come out of the rabbit hole, be sure to check out my new book, Beyond the Veil, which is actually one of 3 books that I just finished writing. The Holy Trinity bundle is almost 1,000 pages altogether, all of which should be available pretty soon. This project has taken me over a year, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Beyond the Veil, Demystified Mysteries, Oracles, and Oils, and Decodified Movies, Venom Vision, and the Hidden Rites. If you want to know the full truth, I suggest getting all 3.